Hmm. The thing about Godzilla vs. Megaguirus is that it's not a bad movie. It's just that it feels very reminiscent of the Showa series. And while I kinda like the Showa series, despite its inconsistencies and its terrible, dated qualities and how ridiculously cheesy they could be at times, I found the Showa series overall enjoyable, and it definitely had its standout moments here and there, but Godzilla vs. Megaguirus is basically just the same thing, done with more modern special effects and not much else to keep it fresh. Uh, this movie takes place in its own separate timeline. It's not connected to Godzilla 2000, even though it uses the same Godzilla suit that I'm not a particularly big fan of. Um, and basically, it's just a movie that very, very slowly builds up this giant bug monster that becomes bigger as the film goes on, and the bug monster becomes Megaguirus, and it fights Godzilla at the end. And the fight is just alright. Like, it has its moments, like, uh, like when Godzilla bites its stinger right off of its tail. That's kind of neat. There's a bit where Godzilla leaps and soars through the air and body slams him, which is like, very similar to the cheesy ass dumb garbage that Godzilla used to do in the old movies, like flying by spitting fire out of his mouth really hard and dancing and stuff like that. But it's just kind of tiring, Like, I already watched like 15 movies that had that sort of formula to it, so going into it, like having finished the Heisei series, which was awesome and felt like a really progressive step forward, and then it feels kind of like we're regressing back into the lamer, less interesting parts of Godzilla, and it's pretty lackluster overall. I mean, it's still like, so far as being like the Showa movies, it does a good job of being like them. It's one, like, if it was part of the Showa series, it'd be probably in the upper middle range. So for that, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. But yeah, not much to write home about. I didn't like it that much. It's just kind of boring. It has CGI effects in it from time to time. Most of them are horrendously ugly, but sometimes they're passable. Never gets to be as ugly as the Matthew Broderick movie, but we don't talk about that. So all in all, it was just fine, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it.